Hi, fellow traders. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a safe and prosperous New Year's Day. And welcome to 2018 in Average Joe Trading. What we're going to do today is I'm going to kind of lay out our game plan for the year. We've got to have a plan of attack going into this first quarter. Now, we went into the fourth quarter with a defined plan. We're going to come out, we're going to try to, position ourselves so that we go into this first quarter strong. And it was a struggle at first. A lot of people lost faith in me. They just quit. Some just kind of came in just to see what was going on. But I realized those are the weak people. Those are the ones who are the farthest away from achieving success in this industry, because if you can't deal with the downs and you only look for the ups, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because dedication and resilience are key to being successful in this industry. Had I quit when I had all those issues in the very beginning, if I just quit and gave up on the fourth quarter, those first 3 weeks where everything was just a challenge, there's no way I could have made what I made to this fourth quarter. And this fourth quarter, I made in profit 15,106.42. And you guys were there for all of it. These are the trades that I took in chat. This is not adding any swing trades. This was all the day trades that I did recaps on every day, and posted everything you saw happen live in chat. But the good thing, the thing that really impressed me was that this 15,106.42 was 30% of my total profit for the year. So we really achieved our goal and then some in the fourth quarter. So that's finishing the fourth quarter strong. However, I should never have been in that position, needing to really knock it out of the park in the fourth quarter. I put all that pressure on me. I was fortunate enough to be able to perform, but I really needed to start at the fourth quarter out strong, and I didn't do it. Now, obviously, I had some issues. I changed and started this community, abruptly in one weekend. All of the plans and everything I had laid out, I had to change. And I was fighting from behind all year. And I was fortunate that I had developed the skill and was able to grind this out. But we really, really need to start this first quarter strong, because we have to dominate it. We have to dominate our first quarter. That's going to set us up for the rest of the game. You guys know I love my South Carolina Gamecocks. All the sports I pull for, even football. We went through some pretty bad years here lately. Finished on a high note today. But thanks to the defense. We really need some offense here. I think the defense really won the game for us. But our women's basketball team, they won a national championship last year, so they've got a bullseye on their back. And they started out their conference schedule yesterday here in Columbia, and they played the 22nd ranked team in the country. And this is always real tough. And they came out and dominated that first quarter. You could tell they had a plan, they executed it, and they finished and dominated that first quarter. They kind of slipped a little bit in the second quarter. That was fine. But then the third quarter came, and they lost a little bit more. And we were down by over, I think, 11 points at one time in the third quarter. But the fourth quarter came, and we won the fourth quarter, and we scored a basket in the last 10 seconds in order to go up. But that's not what won us the game. What won us the game, what won our women's basketball team the game, was the work they put in the first quarter. If they didn't dominate that first quarter, they would not have set the stage for this fourth quarter domination. They really didn't have to do a whole lot other than just maintain some intensity, and they made it. But this was made possible because of the work they did in the first quarter. And they had a little bit of pressure on them, but they weren't down big. Now imagine if this was inverted and they came into the fourth quarter down significantly. That would put a whole lot of pressure on them, and that's when mistakes start happening. So for us as traders, we can take this same model and kind of use it in our trading. The reality is we have a small window of opportunity to make our success happen. And we have to jump on it, and we have to attack it this first quarter. We have to knock it out of the park, because the strong start that our women had in the first quarter, it didn't really start when the first quarter started. It started with the body of work that was put in previously. A game plan was developed from the previous fourth quarter, from the previous game. And they realized they knew what they needed to do. They knew what they did last year, and they set up a game plan, and they went out there and executed it. Sure, they took blows in the second and third quarter, but they weathered the storm. They trusted in their process, trusted in their plan, trusted in the hard work and dedication that they put in to prepare for this opportunity. They didn't wait till the last minute to take advantage of it. They came out going for it. So we need to do this in our trading. We have to take advantage of this first quarter. No, we have to. Again, we only have this small window of opportunity a lot of times, and a lot of times it's only going to happen once or twice. If we ignore it and we don't take advantage of it, then we're going to start going backwards here. So this is why we really need to dominate, our first quarter, because we need to withstand those blows that are going to be coming, that we may get the second quarter. The third quarter, between the second and third quarter, when the market really gets slow. We've got to absorb that punishment that comes. So if we can nail the first quarter, we won't have a whole lot of pressure like I did, going into the fourth quarter this year. So we need to win the first quarter. We got to start strong. Okay? We've got to get to the spot and be where we need to be in order to start focusing on this first quarter. Okay, we've got to. We're going into the first quarter this year, the first quarter of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to take advantage of it, or are we going to fold up like an envelope when bad times happen? When, we don't do as well in the market, things don't go our way. No, I'm not going to fold up. You're not going to fold me up like an envelope, put a stamp on me, and send me back to where I came from. That's not going to happen. So we have to dig in. We have to have that grit, that determination, and we've got to have our game plan. So what my game plan is going into the first quarter, I'm going to remain and keep my focus on my process to start the day. We've got to have our process. We've got to have our morning routine, that if something gets fouled up, then we sit out the morning. There's going to be opportunity in the afternoon. If not, then we just come back the next day. The problem is, too many times, something may happen, and we may come into the market rushed, and we don't want to miss a trade, so we just jump in. And it really creates a lot of stress, and that eats up our mental energy. And remember, I told you before, we don't have an infinite amount of mental energy. It's limited. What we have per day is limited. It gets taken away when we don't get enough sleep. It gets taken away when we stress ourselves out over silly things. We have to conserve that so that when we get in the trade, we can give it 100% focus. The other thing is focusing on our key setups. Jumping from strategy to strategy, from stock to stock, doesn't make us money in the market. That's one of the things that I had trouble with later on in the year, because I was trying to make something happen. I knew I was behind where I wanted to be. My goal was to start with $1,500 and make at least $75. And yeah, my plan was to start over a couple of times during the year, so that the new subscribers that came in can see exactly, that it's okay to trade small. But I was jumping around from stock to stock, and somebody said, hey, this stock is moving. I go look, it looked like a setup. I get in and lose. That's not what I want to get into. If a stock is not on my scan, if it's not on my radar, that means it's not in play for me, and I've got to leave it alone. So I'm going to be focusing on that. Putting our study time on perfecting the strategies that we trade. So a lot of, it doesn't matter how much time we put in this. If it's not focused on the right things, if it's focused on trying to learn this, that, and the other thing that really doesn't have anything to do with our strategy, we're wasting our time. So our focus has to be on perfecting our strategy or our strategies. No chasing stocks that's not on our watch list. I can't do that anymore. I have to focus. I've got these scans. I put a lot of time and effort into them. I pay money every month to have them. So I need to believe in them. I need to put my faith and belief in what I have put together with trade ideas. Continue to focus on developing solid trade plans. All successful professionals have trade plans. All successful professionals. Because you can't be successful without some type of plan. You've got, let's say you go to get a business loan. If you don't have a business plan that makes sense, they're not going to give you a loan. A lawyer is not going to go to court to defend somebody and not have a plan. It just makes no sense. They're not going to just show up and try to ad-lib their way through it. If not, they won't be a very good lawyer. Doctors have a plan when they do surgery. The surgeries that my wife had, it really showed me how meticulous these doctors are. And how they have they have a plan from beginning to end. Sometimes it doesn't work out right, but they have a plan to double check that plan. So, my wife had to have a surgery twice in one day, because when the doctor went back through and quizzed the nurses, he didn't like what they told him. They skipped a step, and they needed to go back and fix it. So we as traders, we got to have that same mentality. We've got to have a trade plan. Every trade we go into, it's got to be just like a lawyer preparing for his case, or a doctor preparing for surgery. We got to know exactly what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and if something goes wrong, how are we going to fix it? So I'm always going to have a plan, long and short. I'm always going to know what's going to happen if the stock does this or if the stock does that. And as part of that, we've got to set realistic stops. I know when we're trading real small, we have to stick to losing X amount of dollars. That's when we're learning the strategy. Once we've learned the strategy and we know how to trade and we know how to read price action, then we don't need to have these tight stops. We should have developed a skill that's going to allow us to read the chart and determine realistic stops. And if it's $1 away and we can't risk trading 500 shares and losing $1, then you don't do it. If you're comfortable losing $150, or let's say $100 to make the math easy, and the stock moves $1, has a range of $1, then you trade 100 shares and let it go. You can't strangle your trades. Now you can't give them too much room because you lose too much money, but you can't strangle your trades either. And establish feasible profit targets. I have to make money. We're in this business to make money. There's nothing ever wrong with you taking profit at a predetermined stop. Now, if you are watching your P&L, and I went through a whole trade with the P&L live on Friday, and just kind of pointed out some of the thoughts that happen when you have that P&L up. And if you're taking the trade off because you've gone up and down, and now you got a little green and you take it off, no, that's not a feasible profit target. It needs to at least hit your first target. And that target needs to be, it needs to be in line with your risk reward. If you're risking $100 and your first profit is at 50, then that doesn't make sense. That's not a feasible profit target. At a minimum, your stop, if you're in 100 shares, your first profit target should be at least a point. And then you take it from there. All right, we need to focus on proper risk management. I had some issues with that, here and there. Not real bad, but I did let a few trades get away from me. So, the best trading strategy in the world, doesn't matter how ideal it is not going to be successful unless you manage risk properly. Because no strategy is going to work 100% of the time. You've got to learn risk management. I've had a week where I was 40% on my accuracy and still made good money. It's all because of risk management. So you don't, obviously my goal is 70%, but if I don't hit it, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to look to see, why didn't I hit it? Am I doing something wrong? Have I changed the way I look at trades? Whatever it is, I go back and look at it and fix it. But risk management includes sticking to your stops, sticking to your profit targets, trading in your lane. If you're not comfortable trading 500 shares, don't trade 500 just because I'm trading it and you're going to try to follow me. That's not a viable strategy. If you can only stand to trade 100 shares, then you trade 100 shares and you look at what my profit targets are. You can ask me what my profit targets are and determine where you need to hold. It only takes one bad trade to blow up your account. Only one bad trade. We're going to focus on reflection. I shared my reflection model in the day trading class. I'll be sharing it again in the trading psychology class. It's on my small account videos on YouTube. That model is probably the best thing since sliced bread. It helped me in my teaching when I first got into teaching, and working in the classroom, that reflection model helped me grow tremendously and cut down on the learning curve. That's what reflection does. You're going to do an end of day reflection and end of week reflection. You want to journal all of your trades. Now, if you're a scalper and you trade 10 or 15 stocks a day, then you're probably going to have a hard time making a journal. You're going to spend more time writing your journal than you do trading. So you're going to have to come up with something more feasible. But like me, I like focusing on one stock, and I'll have multiple trades on one stock, but I only have a journal to write for one stock in one list of trades. So reflection is key. This is one of the secrets of success that most people, it's not really a secret, but most people don't know about it. So they may think it's a secret. But reflection is a key element in growing your trading. So, mentoring. Trying to educate yourself on how to trade the market is very challenging. And I can guarantee you that it's going to extend your learning curve. It's going to probably extend it to where you never get out of it. So trying to educate yourself, even though you can learn some concepts. I learned a lot of concepts, a lot of fundamentals on my own. But trying to execute is where the problem comes in. So finding a trading mentor and a trading education community is vital if you wish to realize any trading success. It's vital. And I'm not talking about paid mentoring. I'm not talking about you buying 3 or 9 hours from me. You could get mentoring every day in chat. You get to see me do what I do. You get an opportunity to ask me questions, direct questions that I can answer. So you're actually getting mentored throughout the day. Now, obviously, you're going to get to a point where you can't turn the corner. You're consistent, but you're not really making any money. Or you're almost consistent, but you just can't get over the hurdle. That's when you start looking for, a one-on-one mentoring. But while you're learning and you're in the community, you have class every day in the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But this week we may not get to do Tuesday. I didn't realize everybody's still on vacation. But we'll see how that works out. But you get live classes. I'm there after class, so you get to ask questions there. Then I'm live in the chat room. You can ask questions then. So mentoring is key. And you want to be in a trading education community where the person who you're looking to mentor you is going to actually be the person answering the emails. That's going to be chatting with you in chat. You don't want somebody that's not intimately familiar with what you're doing answering your questions. So that's why I keep my community small, and that's why I like focusing on those that really want to learn, that are ready to invest in their education. Not so much money, because as cheap as it can be, getting in here, you don't have to pay thousands of dollars for education, but I want that same dedication. Without it, I can't help you be successful because I can't give it to you. Something you got to do for yourself. So this is our game plan. Okay, this is what we're looking at going into the new year. I've got a mentor that, where I am, this person can help me get to where I need to be. I've had a couple of mentors along the way. Now I'm at the point where I have very specific needs, and I need to get them addressed. So today, this was the day trading game plan. Now tomorrow, I'm going to share the swing trading game plan, because we're going to start counting swing trade profits and day trading profits. They're going to be added together, because this is the money. This is my income. Day trading and swing trading. Both of those come together to make the income that I make every month. When I have to pay out dividends to those that own a piece of me, I've got to add both of those together. I can't just add day trading and not add swing trading, because that's not fair. So I'm going to start doing it in the community. We're going to have more emphasis on swing trading. We're going to talk about that game plan tomorrow. But I think I've given you guys enough to digest today. But I just want you to know this is what we're looking at as far as day trading. Some of these are going to be the same for swing trading. But that's what it's going to take. And I'm going to do this when we normally do our swing trade meeting at 9 o'clock. I'm going to do the game plan there. And, we're going to kick it off. So just want to let you guys know what's going on. So I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm ready to, tackle this 2018. I'm excited to see what it's got for me. I know I'm going to have some downs. I know I'm going to get hit. I know I'm going to get knocked down. But I know that if I could look up, I can get up. And every time I get knocked down, I'm going to roll over so that I can look up. And then I'll be able to get up and keep driving on. So you guys, you deserve the best out of you. You deserve the best out of me. Because the biggest investment is not the money. It's the time. Your time is a lot more valuable than any investment you can make, because time is something you can't win back. You can make your money back from a bad trade, but you can't make the time up you waste every day. You don't get it but one time. And if we don't make the best of it, and we don't focus it and do the things we need to do to achieve the goals that we want to achieve, we're going to be stuck in the same spot. So you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your night, your evening, or morning. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow in chat.